First and foremost, I would like to take the time to congratulate Edgar Berlanga on landing and winning the Canelo sweepstakes. He's absolutely getting cooked tonight. He's getting stopped by Canelo Alvarez, and it might be bad. This is your boy JG. This is the Punch Report. In this video, I will do a quick breakdown and prediction of the upcoming Canelo Alvarez Edgar Berlanga fight. That's taking place this evening, and why Edgar Berlanga really needs to be thankful and grateful for the opportunity that he has put himself in to get cooked by Canelo Alvarez. This will be a beating. Let's just get into the content right now. So I'm willing to say the things that I'm saying right now because I'm largely going to be correct. And also, the reality of the situation is that Edgar Berlanga, or Berlanga, however you pronounce it, is tailor-made for Canelo Alvarez. Before we get into the tape breakdown, a couple psychological notes I want to highlight. If you go back to the initial press conferences that broke, Canelo Alvarez was very jovial. He was excited. He was full of vivacious energy at the opportunity of facing Edgar Berlanga. And that wasn't because, he's just a great guy like that. Shout out to Canelo. But it's because he understood that he had somebody in front of him that he was going to absolutely blow through. Typically, if you look back at some of the past Canelo Alvarez lead-ups, the Charlo lead-up was fairly respectful, but there was some veracity there. If you go back to Plant, there was a slap involved. We talking about people's moms by accident. I'm glad they were able to clean that up. And as a side note, shout out to Canelo Alvarez. He didn't want to say MFer at all, but now that's one of his favorite joints. English-speaking Canelo Alvarez is one of my top 2 favorite fighters of all time because he just talk crazy. So shout out to whoever put him with an instructional coach for the English language. It was probably a black person, it sounds like. They've done a fantastic job. But anyway, when I saw Canelo operating from that perspective, as if he knew what was going to happen already, I said, I think Berlanga may be in trouble. Now, in all fairness, some of the closer, face-offs and press conferences that move closer to the date of the bout, Canelo Alvarez, serious face, take my glasses off, show Edgar Berlanga I'm not here for the games. And I definitely get all that. The reality of the situation is this. Edgar Berlanga, I believe he's 20 fights in. I would challenge anyone that's not in his camp or even in his camp to name 5 individuals that he's fought and then say, does he have the experience necessary, the tools necessary, the ring IQ necessary to get it done against a Saul Canelo Alvarez? And the answer to that question, put simply, is absolutely not. Now, the first thing you need to know about this film breakdown is there will be 0 clips of Canelo Alvarez in here. We don't need to see Canelo Alvarez in this particular video. He has 56, 57 bouts where he's tested himself against guys we really don't care to see, this being one of them, that being Berlanga, and some of the best who have ever done it. Shout out to Floyd, Mayweather. This film breakdown will be exclusively for Edgar Berlanga, and the reasons why I see he's going to struggle to have success in this particular bout. He will only have the success that Canelo allows him to have, to be perfectly honest with you. Now, before we get into the film study, a couple things we should know about Canelo. Let's say you live up under a rock, you just got into boxing, you haven't seen Canelo fight. You need to understand this. Canelo Alvarez has a granite chin. Go see Triple G, go see Danny Jacobs, go see a number of other fighters where he's had that chin tested. Berlanga gave an interview with SOG Andre Ward. He said, hey, things happen in bouts. Guys get clipped. You get rocked and buzzed. Not Canelo. I got to see that first. And maybe Berlanga's the guy. He's a pretty heavy hitter. But this is a situation or scenario where Canelo Alvarez has not been buzzed. And he's been in it with bigger punchers. Guys with legit power, more athleticism and speed than Edgar Berlanga. He presents very few unique challenges to Canelo Alvarez. The beard of Canelo, the ring IQ, the experience generally, all that shades toward, one Canelo Alvarez. Let's get into really 2 punches that I'll highlight here that I think will lead to the success of one Canelo Alvarez. Now, at the beginning of this video, I stated that Edgar Berlanga was tailor-made for Canelo Alvarez. And what does that mean? Specifically, squared circle stuff. Boxing breakdown and analysis. He is a up and down target. He doesn't really get on angles. He has rudimentary defense. He has a very effective jab that he seldom uses. He's going to need that in this bout. But guys that give Canelo Alvarez trouble, generally speaking, are guys who can get on angles, be creative with their offense and defense, and present different looks as the bout unfolds. These are not skills that Edgar Berlanga possesses. That's just the reality of the situation. And he is not defensively responsible. You're going against Canelo Alvarez, a guy who has seen it all just about, and it could spell trouble. So specifically, there's 2 punches that will likely end the night or start the beginning of the end of the evening for one Edgar Berlanga. The first one is going to be the left hook. Like I said before, there is not going to be any breakdown or tape from Canelo Alvarez's side, but he has a lethal left hook that he disguises very, very well. He sells it low to the body, brings it high upstairs, crushes it in the head of his opposition. See Caleb Plant, see a number of guys who he's been able to really just kind of trick. Billy Joe Saunders got his eye socket exploded with this setup. Edgar Berlanga, let's take a look at the tapes here. This is from 3 separate fights, as shown to be susceptible to the left hook. And sometimes it's the left hook that's just, thrown as a lead shot. You'll see the clips here also. Sometimes it's a shot that's thrown in between shots. And I understand anybody could say, well, guys get hit in fights and blah, 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 blah. Specific to this bout in particular, that left hook from an orthodox perspective, which Canelo Alvarez is, an orthodox fighter, is lethal. He has a lethal left hook. And Berlanga has been susceptible to that shot even being buzzed. The other shot, the second shot, which you don't see a lot of guys typically throw, Canelo throws it, see Jaime Munguia, is that lead uppercut shot. You have a guy who's going to come in with a high guard, try to wade his way in without setting it up appropriately. Feints are highly effective against Berlanga, and that lead uppercut will be there. Jaime Munguia, high guard, kind of shelled up, moving forward towards Canelo. He sets it up beautifully, lands a lead uppercut, drops Jaime Munguia. That's it. That's the whole entire breakdown. I see why Roy Jones Jr. said, he won't be at this bout or this card. He's going to go check out the UFC event. I think some of that's low-key hate. I also think that this card is pretty damn good. There's some pretty good fights on here. But focusing more on Canelo Alvarez and Edgar Berlanga, the inability for Berlanga to get out of the way, the lack of diversity in his defense and his offense. He does have real punching power, and he's shown the ability also to kind of lose his cool. This is a guy who elbowed someone on the side of his head on a break and tried to bite Angulo and look crazy as hell doing that. Facing Canelo Alvarez, 56, 57 bouts in, who's been more active recently and is looking like he's close to the height of his power. I do think he's lost a little bit, that being Canelo, but definitely has more than enough in the tank to beat a guy like Edgar Berlanga. The lead hand work from Canelo Alvarez will be the difference maker. That left hook with variety that he throws, and then the lead uppercut that he does a great job selling down to the body or digging to the body to drumroll you and then go up top, and then land that lead left hook. Let me know what you guys are thinking. This is your boy JG. This has been the Punch Report. How do you see this fight playing out? Edgar Berlanga, you will absolutely get cooked. And if I'm wrong, it was so improbable, it doesn't even matter. We out.